Now that the Alpha Omega Easter egg has been completed and we've had time to sink everything in, this video is going to form the puzzle pieces as to where we're going in DLC 4 and what we're going to do. And as you've seen from the title, this is a very juicy video. So do let me know in the comment section if you enjoy the video and your thoughts on how we're going to get to this ending, because we know exactly what we're going to do in DLC 4. So to get to that conclusion, let's go and break down the end cutscene bit by bit. As you're all aware, we came to Alpha Omega to collect an elemental shard. This direction was of course specifically given to Primus Nikolai from the Chronorium. Now, as you've probably guessed, the elemental shard is not just a standard shard of element 115. To first learn about its origins in the zombie storyline, you need to go to the Call of Duty Zombies comic issue 2, where we see Russman working at Broken Arrow for the first time in the 1970s. Russman is there working alongside Purnell, and they begin experimentation on live animals with the shard. Now, this was the shard's first chronological appearance, but it actually goes even further back. Division 9 first acquired this shard in 1946, but 15 years later, that shard was stolen from the government by none other than Cornelius Purnell. Colonel Sawyer was perplexed by this and assumed it was either lost or intentionally stolen by a specified individual and being kept from them. But back to the comic, where Purnell describes this shard as some kind of miracle that was going to help them win the Cold War. And as you see in the comic, the shard has a pretty bad effect on these test subjects. And as we learn through secret radios in Alpha Omega, element 115 is used as a power source, but the shard is used as a life source, as the levels of concentrated energy it contains has been unable to be measured. Whenever energy is drained from it, the energy is replaced like as if it's recharging itself. And whilst this seems similar to element 115, element 115 has the power simply to reanimate the dead. It could restore the body but not the mind or soul. But charging the dead and even robots fully restore the body with mind and soul. We don't know what use exactly our crew is going to use the elemental shard for, but its purpose is going to be involving reanimating dead bodies, restoring them completely with mind, body and soul. But as we head further into the ending, we see Dr. Maxis in the house, as he has always been during the timeline, but Dr. Monty has grown far too suspicious. As in the original cycle, Maxis gives us specific calculations for Richtofen to complete his mission and deliver the souls to the house. The fact this hasn't happened this time is what grows Dr. Monty's suspicion and the murder of Dr. Maxis. But just before his demise, he makes one final sacrifice, sending Samantha and Eddie from the house to join our crew. And Samantha exclaims that we are going to the Great War and then returning to the house to kill Dr. Monty and burn it all to the ground. But there is so much more to it than that. And we learn what we are doing in DLC 4 from Dr. Maxis before his demise. We learn in Blood of the Dead that the cycle is well and truly broken. And post-Revelations, Richtofen destroys the Richtofen blood vials as well as the other Primus characters' blood vials. And this Maxis radio perfectly explains the Revelations ending and why the blood vials will not work.
Richtofen? Edvard, I must assume you're receiving me. We must discuss Monty's plan. If you are to follow through and deliver the souls, it will not resolve the paradox. Yes, the children will grow up and live in their perfect universe. But the blood vials, they will not break the cycle as you believe. They will perpetuate an endless loop. All those affected by element 115 will continue to be trapped and tortured by the ether's power. It would never end. The world will always break. You will always try to fix it. You will always travel to the house with the souls. You will always drink the blood, and then the cycle will repeat. I suspect Monty knows this. Perhaps the true cost of fixing all of reality is too great, even for him. I will reach out when I have more information.
But when we break the cycle, obviously situations are now vastly different. And here is the exact way that we are going to defeat Dr. Monty in DLC 4. Dr. Maxis drops some huge context which we have been waiting years for. And the true explanation of what has caused all of this is the ether. Once it touches something, that thing is forever corrupted. So Dr. Monty, the Shadow Man, Element 115, all those things have forever been corrupted by the ether. Dr. Monty never planned on fixing anything by sending us back to the Great War. Doing so only perpetuates an endless cycle, allowing him to manipulate space and time as he wishes. The only way of getting rid of Dr. Monty is to purge Element 115 from existence before it ever encountered humanity. If it is possible is another question, but Dr. Monty must know this is the only true way to fix everything, yet he chooses not to do this. And why does he choose not to destroy Element 115? Well, that's because the ether is inextricably linked with Agartha. They are one and the same. Agartha, the physical space, is constructed and exists of the ether. And the ending of DLC 4 is going to involve us resetting all of time and space by destroying Agartha. Maxis explains this perfectly in this radio here.
Oh, that is much better. Everything is so complicated now, Edvard. Remember when the world was a simple place? No time travel, no multiverses, no paradoxes, no existential crises. It is the ether, Edvard. Once it touches something, that thing is forever corrupted. It cannot be undone. Do you not see, Edvard? Dr. Monty never planned on fixing anything. He could only start over. Well, he could fix it, but the cost of this would be too great, even to him. We were doomed the moment Element 115 came to Earth. The only way to prevent all of this, the only way to halt the unraveling of space and time, which, need I remind you, we are both directly and indirectly responsible for, would be to purge Element 115 from existence before it ever encountered humanity. How one would do this, how that would even be possible, I do not know. Dr. Monty must know this is the only true way to fix everything. Yet he chooses not to do this. There must be a reason. I will find out why. By this point, I must assume you are receiving these messages. I hope you are, especially after what I have just learned. I believe I have uncovered why Dr. Monty will not destroy Element 115. The ether is inextricably linked with Agartha. They are one and the same. Agartha, the physical space, is constructed and exists of the ether. From this we can surmise there is no way to destroy the ether unless Agartha itself were to be destroyed. Now, the ramifications for destroying Agartha are not yet clear. After all, it's interwoven into the fabric of all realities, meaning its destruction would impact all of existence. It could very well reset all of time and space. Imagine restarting the universe, but without the influence of the ether. Yes, this is the reason. This is why Dr. Monty will not truly fix the paradox. Destroying Agartha, it would mean the end of him.
And now we fully understand what's at stake here. The real reason why Dr. Monty will not truly fix the paradox and forever perpetuate the cycle, because destroying Agartha would destroy him. The ether has corrupted him for his entire existence. His manipulation and deceit to our characters has purely been because of the existence of the ether and Agartha. And the ether is what consumed the Shadow Man and turned him and the Keepers into Apophicons. So as we see from the intro cutscene and the outro where Dr. Monty reveals his true form, the Apophicons and the Keepers, after finding out that the ether corrupts everything it touches, that both the Keepers and the Apophicons are just as evil as each other. And just like the ether is inextricably linked with Agartha, Dr. Monty is inextricably linked with the Shadow Man, as they were once both the same thing and both corrupted by the ether. And for Maxis's last and final radio message, he is setting up a last-minute drastic measures plan, which is to send the children straight to us so they can no longer be manipulated by Dr. Monty. Because if they stayed in the house, yes, the children will grow up and live in their perfect universe. But Samantha isn't just an ordinary child, as she has a gift and an importance far greater than what we understand right now. Even if we go back to maps like Der Eisendrache, we can see drawings of dreams she had on the walls of a keeper visiting her in her sleep. And in the original timeline, when Samantha is teleported to the moon while Groff and Schuster work on the MPD, she's drawn inside of it where she becomes corrupted by the dark ether. So with that in mind, she is going to be very useful when it comes to using the influence of the ether against Dr. Monty and the Shadow Man. But with Dr. Maxis posing the fact we need to destroy Agartha to fully end Dr. Monty, we also hear the mention of it resetting all of time and space. So what could very well happen with this ending is that this is going to be an ending which is going to completely reset and reboot the ether storyline in its full entirety. The ending will put a reset button on the entire ether story, meaning that none of the events happen and we're going to start completely fresh over. And that is a thought which I think is incredibly exciting, because it'll be very interesting to see the ether story go in a brand new direction. It's also quite sad and also quite scary to imagine. Absolutely everything that we've done in this ether storyline from back in World at War over 10 years ago to now, that entire universe could just have a reset button pressed and we will be in an ether story reboot. Now I'd love to hear your thoughts on this down below in the comment section on what your thoughts are on the ether story being rebooted. But let me know what you thought of the video in general. If you enjoyed the video, a like would be really appreciated on your way out, and make sure to subscribe as I'll be bringing a lot more story videos like this one to your faces. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.